I'm your host Alex, and alongside me today is OJ, and
Yo,
you're listening to another episode of the Tottenham podcast. Probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Tottenham side. Not even joking. I've been a Tottenham fan for a long time, but I've never seen a performance quite like that. There's been some bad ones, but not quite like that. We'll get into all that. But first, OJ, how are you doing, my friend?
yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. What about you? Been better from
Yeah,
the
good
game,
man.
or the
Yeah,
game has put me down a little bit, but
yeah.
what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm doing alright. I mean, just it'll probably be good to get a few things off our chest. But
Mm-hmm.
without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So the final score was Crystal
Three
Palace
nil.
3-0. Yeah, the Crystal Palace
Oh,
10-man Tottenham nil. Um, Even from the start, we looked just off it completely, miles off it.
mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Jean has said, we were terrible, no creativity. It took us till like the 60th minute to have a shot on target or even a shot in general. That came from Lucas Moura. And yeah, Crystal Palace deserved to win. And I think even if we'd have kept 11 men on the pitch, it would still be difficult to win that game. But what are your thoughts on the game, OJ?
My thoughts of the game were the exact same. I think we were pathetic. There's no other way to put it. We had no creativity anywhere. When you
Yeah,
lose your best attack, one of your best attackers in Heung-min Son, the first thing you should do is decide to play another attacker, not play Dele Alli at left wing. You know,
exactly.
this guy's already been shifted in every position, and he's looked uncomfortable. And Nuno, to me, already has his own favourites, and I dislike that. 3 games in early season, and he looks like he's favouring Skip Højbjerg Ali, which to me, fine, play your system. But when you lose Son, when you lose good players, mate, come on, you got Hill on the bench, you got Ndombele. Mate, there's no way you can't be playing them. They're our best players, some of our best players, you know? It's pathetic, honestly. I'm very disappointed.
It is, man. You hit the nail on the head there. Spot on. It was pathetic. I mean, even I'll just say this before we start. I don't. This sounds silly. I don't mind losing games if we play well. If we play well and we
Hmm.
show heart and passion, and we lose, fair enough, right? But when we lose like that pathetic, spineless, like I know the system didn't help us and the personnel didn't help us, and I know we've got injuries and suspensions and COVID, things going on. But still, we've still got enough out on the pitch to beat Crystal Palace. They have Christian Benteke and Jordan Ayew up front to start the game. We should be beating that team. We've got Harry Kane and Lucas Moura. That's enough to at least create chances. And I know the system restricted us, but still. And secondly, I'll bring you in, OJ, but secondly, like you said again, we need, like, why is he not changing it? At 0-0, yeah, at half time it was 0-0. We were lucky to go in at 0-0, but it was still 0-0 at half time. Why is he not then bringing either Hill or Ndombele on, or both, and try and get up the pitch? At 1-0 down, change it. Even at 2, try and get back into the game, because you just never know what might happen in football. But, it's like he's refused to make changes, and every single time the camera panned on him, he was stood there with his finger in his mouth, looking completely out of his depth. And yeah, terrible. But can you think of? I really cannot think of any positives. Can you think of any positives, or at all?
I don't have any positives other than the fact that Joe Rodon got his first minutes of the season.
Yeah, he's good.
The whole game just looked pathetic.
Yeah,
You have so many negatives. You just lost another centre back in Tanganga and Eric Dyer. So who are we going to play? We can play Ben Davies and Joe Rodon against Chelsea. That is horrible. And the thing is, after the international break, right, players are a little bit tired, right? But now we've lost Sanchez, Romero, Lo Celso, we've lost Dyer and Tanganga due to a red card, and Son. We have 6 other key players. Easily, all of them can slot into this team. We've lost them. We're gonna play Chelsea next, right? I've always predicted this. Nuno is not playing sustainable football. Crystal Palace is a team that, with the right attacking force, we can still beat. I don't understand why you'd rather play Dele Alli at left wing than play Gil at left wing, right? And this is something that's completely bothered me. Kane has been horrible these past few games. He just does not look like he wants to be at Tottenham,
No,
right? He hasn't scored in any of the last three Premier League games he's played, and he started two of them, right? So, in my opinion, right now he's not in the right headspace to be playing for Tottenham. And a manager with a bit of spine would have subbed Harry Kane off, right? Or subbed Dele Alli off, you know? In fact, you play with three DMs. Three. You play with Harry Winks, who has just been god awful for us, you know?
it
You
was
play with
terrible. Yeah,
Skip, who I like Skip. He's an academy player, right? But come on, we need creativity. And at one point in the game, our most advanced player was Højbjerg. Are you kidding me? 2-0 down, and Højbjerg's trying to start an attack. It's pathetic, and this is why I'm not a fan of Nuno, right? At first, it was like, fine, the City game, I understand playing defensively. Wolves, it's just trying to get his system in, but we were promised that he was going to play like he did at Valencia. Why are you telling me that I spent 2 hours analyzing Valencia versus Real Madrid only for him to just keep with this low block, score, and then hope for the best, you know? It's horrible, horrible.
it is, man. That's funny, man. 2 hours, yeah. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I'm not one for like, well, yeah, but I'm not one for like calling people out or but John Moss, right, the referee, was
Oh,
disgraceful
yeah.
today.
Horrible,
Disgraceful.
horrible.
And I know it sounds like I'm trying to make excuses, and maybe I am, subconsciously, but like some of the decisions that Palace got that we didn't get. For example, a foul by Conor Gallagher and Lucas Moura in the build to, I think it was either the build to the red card or the build to one of their goals. How has he not spotted that as a foul? Lucas Moura ran through on goal. Lucas Moura ran through on goal, and Mark Gahey, the centre back, pulled him, like, dragged him down. That's a free kick. The handball by Ben Davies, okay, maybe it was handball, but he smashed the ball in from so close in. Where's he supposed to put his hand, right? And then why is he not sent off Wilton Zaha when he's grabbing Tanganga around the neck? Like, what, every single decision just went Palace's way today. And I know we're poor and we deserve to lose. I'm not saying that. But it doesn't
Right.
help when the referee is essentially playing for Crystal Palace. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just a shocker, but yeah.
It
Um,
seems apparent that they were trying to play a rough game, you know? And like, it's obvious that when that happens, you've got to fight fire with fire, you know? Like, this is a time where we're missing a player like Lamella, we're missing a Lo Celso. This is a time where we're missing a South American, you know? Like, right now, we
yeah,
needed that sort of grit in the team. I just don't see that grit coming from anyone. Maybe Højbjerg has that grit, but you expect Winks to have that, you know? We only had two substitutions today, right? We had Joe Roden coming on and Ben Davies coming on. You know, we haven't had a good transfer window if we are still bringing Ben Davies on from the bench. You know, in my opinion, like everything has just really been like people expected too much. People said, "Oh, we've had a great transfer window." And, "Oh, we haven't had a great start to the season." We may look like we've had a great start to the season, but as time goes on, you're gonna see why I mentioned that key word, sustainability. This system, this formation, the players in the system is not sustainable. You've got to start playing attacking. You know, we can't continuously just play defensive. This is what got Jose sacked. You know,
yeah,
remember the 1-1 against Palace last year? Around,
yeah,
you know, that was the turning point. That was the game when I realized that Jose was out of his depth because when you score a goal, right, especially early on in the game, the first thing you should do is try get that second goal. You know, try and get a second goal. Start pushing a bit. The whole game, we didn't look like we wanted to score. Did we even get inside their box?
no.
Barely. You know, half the time players looked clueless. There's like massive open areas of the pitch, and they just were so concentrated down the middle. Like no one knew what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, and on that theme, I know you were talking about creativity, and I've just got a quote here from Nuno. So this is Nuno on why he didn't decide to bring Ndombele or Hill on. He said they didn't come on because I didn't decide to bring them on. It was the right moment to make a sub, but then we went down to 10 men, so we needed to balance the team with a defender. Right, I get bringing a defender on for defender. I get that. But then, what's the excuse for not bringing Ndombele Gill on later in the game? It was still 0-0 when Davis came on. So why are you not bringing Hill or Ndombele on? I saw a tweet from Alistair Gold saying that they were supposed to bring Brian Hill on 3 times or twice, and they decided not to. Why? Why not? It's like there's no attacking intent, and we've got so many good attacking players. When everybody's fit, Son Kane, Lucas Bergwijn, Lo Celso, and Donboy, all these great attack Hill, all these great attacking players, and we're just not utilising them enough. And I'm really, I'm concerned for this Chelsea game because I just don't know what the lineup's going to be. I don't know what the defence is going to be like. Reguilon was poor today. Some of his pass choices were shocking. I thought Emerson Royal did okay against Zaha at times, but like, he just got skinned. He got absolutely skinned a few times by Zaha. And I get it's his first game in the Premier League. I get that, and he's up against a decent player in Zaha. I get that, but still, there's a lot of work to be done. I don't know about you, OJ. I'll get your opinion in a minute, but I don't see the formation changing or the system changing or the personnel changing anytime soon. Um, so I don't know. What do you think going forward?
Neither do I. Honestly, I feel like Nuno has a poor mentality for a manager. This is what I mean. There's a difference between an okay manager who gets a few lucky results during a honeymoon period to a top class, world class manager. There's a difference between an Antonio Conte or a Valverde that who we should have gone for than apparently Patrick Vieira had talked with Spurs than a Patrick Vieira or a Nuno, right? There's a massive difference. The difference is I can promise you right now that Ernesto Valverde would have 100%, even with the red card, still put Giron. If you're losing a game, you're 1-0 down, you got a red card, do you think, oh, you know what, let me balance the team out and get 1-0 result because of GD? Or you say, bug it and just put Giron, put Nobele and see if you can get a result out of the game. Play for the draw. If you've got 10 men, try go for the draw. Don't try just hope for the best and not to concede more because that's what gets you to concede more. If you think you're not going to concede anymore, you're going to concede. If you play not to concede, you're going to concede. It's pathetic, honestly.
Yeah, I
And
mean, sorry,
and the
go on.
continuation of this what killed me. He has his favorites. He selects for players. He's like, oh, I really like you, so I'm going to play you. It, it's like skip Højbjerg Delhi. All right, I'll give you it for the City game. Because they tried hard for that game. I understand, but come on, you can't just expect a midfield with zero creativity to win anything. Like even if you win the ball back, right? What are they looking for? When Skip, Højbjerg, or Deli wins the ball back, what they want to see is a creative player who they can shift the ball off to, and that creative player can start an attack. Right now, when Deli or Skip or they get the ball, they have no one to pass to. If Højbjerg gets the ball and passes to Skip, Skip can't do anything. You have to pass it back. The closest thing we had to creativity was Højbjerg's diagonal balls to the fullbacks. That is the closest thing we've had to creativity, and that is simply pathetic and not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all feel very strongly. I mean, going forward, what I would do, obviously I'm not a manager, but what I would do is keep the halfway free, right? Play, take Dele out of the team, right? Just for now, right? Keep
Yeah,
skipping idea so you got the balance, the
yeah.
defensive balance, and then that third man is in Donboy or the Celso, ideally in Donboy, and play him
Hmm.
further forward so he don't have to run back because he's not got the best work rate. So keep him further forward so he can just receive passes on the half turn and slot them into Kane or Son or whoever, and that'd work better because then you've got
Exactly.
Dombele, Kane, Son, and say Lucas. That's 4 attacking players rather than 3 defensive midfielders, like you said earlier, and then 2 attacking players. We need more. We need to score goals. To win games, you score goals and create chances, not just sit back. It reminded me of Jose Mourinho, like late Jose Mourinho, where we just go into our shell and just hope that we'd not concede or, like you said, or park the bus or put men on the edge of the box and just hook it up front towards Kane and Son and just hope that they produce some magic. No, we need to be creating our own magic. You know what I mean? You've got a player in Donboy there. Okay, he might have the best attitude and he's not winning the team, But Nuno said yesterday he's our player and we're going to make something out of him. So do it then. You do it. Give him his chance. At 1-0 down, what's the harm in bringing him on for 30 minutes and seeing what he can do? You're probably going to lose the game anyway, so why not just chuck him on and see what he
Give him
can
match
do?
fitness, exactly.
So it's baffling to me, his tactical decisions.
Hmm.
And Jose was never afraid to make changes at half time. That's something I always admired about him. Nuno, I was expecting him to change at half time. He just came back out and sat on the bench with his finger in his mouth again, looking clueless. It's like, mate, why are you not screaming at your players, telling them what to do, or why are you not bringing people off the bench to try and change the game? But anyway, man,
The game that
I
just
learned
comes
too
to
much.
mind for me is just us versus Olympiacos where we won 4-2. A, a manager with a bit of brains when I tell him what Jose did. Jose subbed off Eric Dyer in the 30th minute for
Yeah,
creativity.
yeah,
There's points where you realize this player isn't having a good enough game, right? I'm not gonna, and keep in mind, Dyer was one of Jose's favorites, Portuguese, everything, blah, blah, blah. So Nuno just he just doesn't have that mentality of a top manager, And I think our players too. For example, I've seen the stat by Opta Joe. Zero for the very first time in his Premier League career, Tottenham's Harry Kane has had neither a shot nor a touch in the opposition's box in a game where he completed the full 90 minutes. This is just over reliability on our good players. There isn't a good system. There's a few good players and a few lucky players who are doing a few lucky things. It's it's not good enough. That's all it is. The players seem like they do care under Nuno, but it just, for example, Denny also said today that Nuno hasn't been saying worry about the opponent. He said don't worry about the opponent, worry about yourselves. That's some horrible man management. It's just simply not good enough from I don't want to blame our players. I think our players did as much as they could. But when you players do as much as they can, there's not too much to do. For example, I think that Nuno is trying to make the players play his system and not get the players to play a system that suits them. There's a rebuild going on, right? But you still got to make the players play in a way they feel comfortable. You can't be playing Dele Alli left wing. It's horrible. You just can't be doing that.
yeah. And just before we bring our next guest in, just quickly on that, why are you playing Dele Alli left wing when you've got an actual natural left winger in Brian Hill? Why would you not? I know he's quite young. He's not really playing the Premier League yet. I get that, but Dele Alli is not quick. He's not particularly good on the ball anymore, and he can't take a man on and beat him. So why not? Quickness is the biggest thing for a winger, in my opinion, and creativity as well. But quickness, you got to have a burst of pace to get past your man. So Dele Alli doesn't have that. So put Dele Alli where Winks is, take Winks out and put Hill in on the wing. It's simple. I don't know, we don't see it on training ground, so we can't really pass judgment. But from the outside looking in, it seems so simple. So just something needs to change going forward, man. I feel like we had the same thing with Jose. We had so many conversations, oh, something needs to change. It never did, it never did. And he ended up getting sacked. And I know it's only 4 games in, but I just hope that Nuno doesn't go down the same path of not making changes at the right time, and it ends up costing him his job. Anyway, I think we've got a second guest. Billy, are you with us, mate?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Um, Quickly on Deli Alley, Deli wasn't actually playing as the left winger. We were playing a four in midfield like a diamond. So Deli was at the front of the diamond
It was
with
basically like he was
Winks.
shifting off to the left in the attacking formation. You could clearly see that. When there was an attack, he'd switch between the left and central, and even that alone is just poor from us. Poor from Nuno to just make him play in somewhere that looks so uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, of course. But when Gil, we're 4 games into the season. I mean, Gil, we haven't really seen much of Gil, and Premier League game at Crystal Palace, we always struggle against them. So you would, I see why he didn't put Gil in because obviously Gil isn't experienced in the Premier League. Delhi's been to Selhurst Park. Delhi's been to Crystal Palace away and done very well in the past. But when you have a young player like Gill, and Crystal Palace are a very physical team, I don't see why you start Gill. To be honest,
Yeah.
I know. Obviously, Delhi's not a left winger, but when they have a very physical midfield with McCarthy and Kawati in midfield, it just makes sense to have another body in there instead of having a left winger and Gill.
No, yeah,
If you
I
keep
get what
on,
you're saying. Sorry, OJ, I'll quickly just say it and then you can come in. On that, Billy, I get what you're saying completely. I get about the experience thing about Delhi's played in the Premier League at Selhurst Park and that. We're not saying start Gill, but you can bring him on. You know, it's this thing of it was 0-0 at half time, so why is it not making a proactive change to try and change the game? Because at 0-0, Tanganga has not been sent off, and it's still 0-0 and we've got 11 men on the pitch, so why is he not looking to try and take the initiative and win the game? That's my main problem, not the fact that he's not started Gill, you know.
I
I,
don't
I
think the
have
problem is necessarily the fact that he didn't play game. I think the problem is the fact that the system was poor. You know, regardless, he knew himself that he looked at his bench and the players he saw were, in my opinion, the main players who could definitely do something with the game were Ndombele and Khil, right? Even if you can't bring Khil on because he's not physical enough, and I kind of agree with you, Crystal Palace are a physical side. They could have definitely just brought Khil to the ground. However, you do have someone like Ndombele who's played 2 years in the Premier League. This is about to be his third year. Don't tell me that he couldn't have at least changed the game, especially in a diamond formation where he doesn't have to do too much striking back.
he's not played in the Premier League. He's not played any minutes in pre-season or the Premier League this season.
It's better than playing Winks, isn't it? I'd rather have an unfit Ndombele than a fit Winks. You know?
Granted, you if you're going off players that
Has he been
aren't fit,
training? He's been training. He's been coming to training every week. It's not like he's injured anymore. You know? He's
no,
fit, in my opinion. Maybe he's not had game time, but when you're losing 1-0 and there's 30 minutes left, right? I'd rather bring Ndombele on for game time and maybe get a lucky goal than just to keep on this passive defensive football.
yeah, like when I understand that when obviously bringing on Gill as well, I understand before Tanga, like a minute before Tanganga got sent off, I understand that Gill was about to come on. So maybe take Winks off as you said and put Gill and then drop Delhi back if you're going to try and get something out the game. But obviously that didn't happen. It's a difficult one because we've also had so many people out today. I think I know of 5 players like Lascelles could have done something because he's been here 2 seasons now or 3 seasons this season. So it's just a difficult one with all the players that we have out as well.
The game was always going to be difficult for us because Crystal Palace are a good side. I think people are ignoring the fact that Crystal Palace have had so many of their key players out. For example, Olise and Eze. Olise was on the bench and Eze didn't play. You know, it's not like we're the only team that's riddled with injury. They had IU playing, right? Whether or not you rate him or not, he's not a good player. Even though he's had a lot of experience, he's necessarily not a good player, right? And for example, Edouard, he literally just joined them. You know, he has little to no experience in he has no experience in the Premier League. Simple as. And guess what he did? He came on and he scored 2 goals, 2 very easy goals.
Can I interject here, or is
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
got
go.
anything? Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Edward thing. Just to touch on the Edward thing. I really think we should. I've said this in previous podcasts. I really think we should have tried to sign him. And I've
Right.
heard rumors on Twitter that we often talked to him before Palace signed him, but that's the sort of signing that I thought we'd be making. You know what I mean? And people said on Twitter,
14
yeah,
million.
I know I keep referring to Twitter, but it's quite a big space for Tottenham. So people said on Twitter that they didn't want to sign Adama Traore because they were happy with the options we had up front. They didn't want to sign whoever because they were happy, and Paradisi's not gone out and bought a striker, he's not gone out and bought a creative midfielder or a winger. And now you can see why these decisions are starting to backfire on him because we've not got the players now. The players are not good. Those attacking players, apart from Kane and Son, and maybe Lucas when he decides to turn up, they're not good enough. We've not seen enough from Brian Hill, but like the likes of what's his name? What's his name? I forgot his name. Like Bergwijn, sorry. Is he really good enough to be starting for us? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to start throwing people under the bus that are not playing in the game. I know he's injured, but is he really done enough in the time that he's been at Tottenham? He's played a fair few games. You know what I mean? How many goals and assists has he got? You know what I mean? It's players like these, man, that we spent 25, 30 million on, that have not produced, whereas Edouard went to Palace for 15 million. Yeah, I mean, and he's come on and scored twice. I don't know, he won't score twice every week. I get that, but it's shrewd signs like these. Rather than spending, we spent what 10, 15 million on Jack Clark. Where's he? What's he do? I know he don't play often, but what a waste of money that is. That £15 million could have gone towards a different player that we need. So I don't know, man. It's just a mess at the moment.
You're 100% right on that. It's the fact that our recruitment has been so poor. And even this summer, I think our recruitment has been somewhat poor. We haven't gone out and signed players who can change our team dynamic completely. Apart from Romero, which player for us necessarily comes in and completely reforms that formation, right? Apart from Romero, no one else does that. It may look like a good window for a few years ahead, but if you think about it, how different is our window to Arsenal's?
Other than spending less money out.
We spent less money, but we've got a similar outcome. Okay, yes, Arsenal has had a really poor start to the season, but they have the same excuse that we have for losing this game. They've lost a number of their key players, and I seriously believe that Arsenal are going to easily come back from that, right? But when you look at us, right, we've got Romero, they've got Ben White. Romero is definitely a better centre back, right? But when you compare our centre back options to their centre back options, it's different. They have Gabriel there, who's a sort of centre back, and they have Saliba, who could come back one day easily. And Gabriel and Saliba easily starting to slot into our team right now. Then you look at at least they look at them. They signed Lukango, we signed Pepe Sarr. We haven't had that much of a different window to them, right? And just because we've had a good start to the season doesn't necessarily mean we have had a good window.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it, Billy? You want to come in there?
I mean, like when you say like we're not gonna go and spend 60 million on every player we go and buy. Like we've also, when
Of
you think
course, of
about it,
course. But
we've also
when you look
got
at
Skip
Leicester,
and
they
Norwich.
spent 60 million on Sumare. Let's spend 60 million on Sumare who starts in our team. Or, you know, what's his name? Edward, he came in for 40 million. He's a good backup striker. Or Adama Traore, don't tell me he's not worth that 40 million that we definitely have. Because we bid 70 million for Lautaro Martinez. We obviously have the money, right? We just didn't bother to spend it.
I mean, we also, when you look at it, we also had Skip come back from Norwich, who we didn't have to sign the bloke that Leicester got for 40 or 60 million. I can't remember what, but
Mara.
like we're building for the future. It's not going to happen overnight. Like when Pochettino was our manager, he was one game away from getting sacked. He was one game. The Harry Kane free kick against Villa saved his job, and that was because he put trust in young players. It's not. We all know it's not going to happen overnight, and we're not going to get. It never happens like that.
Of course, it doesn't, but for example, Romero's 23. He's a good young signing and he's up to our first team. You know, those players 100% exist. Our recruitment has just been poor and not good enough to go out and buy those players.
Yeah, I'm just going with a couple of things quickly because obviously we're running a little bit out of time. We've still got a bit of time, but a couple of things quickly. I've just seen something Nuno saying somebody must have asked him is the lack of creativity a concern, and he says yes, the lack of creativity is a concern. Meanwhile, he's got his most creative player on the bench sitting there not coming on. And secondly, under Pochettino, we made our name from shrewd signings like Dele Alli for 5 million, Dyer for 5 million, Son for 20, promoting Kane through the youth academy. Players like Wang Hoi for like 8.5 million that we sell on 15 million. You know, I'm not asking us to go out and like Billy said, I'm not asking us to go out and sign £60 million players. And I know you're not either, OJ, but like we need to. I understand, we need to get back to that shrewd business. You know what I mean? I don't know, Emerson's a good signing for the money, but like, players like Dele Alli, don't be afraid to look down to the Championship. You know what I mean? I know it's, for a club like Tottenham, we need to be signing ready-made stars, but like Billy said, Pochettino promoted youth, and I think we need to get back to that. And our window has been somewhat good because we've signed mostly young players, and well, all young players, but yeah, at the same time, I just a few missed opportunities in this window. I think it's going to cost us. For example, Adama Traore, we didn't pull the trigger on him, or a creative midfielder, we didn't pull the trigger on that, or getting another centre back into partner Romero long term, we didn't do that, or a backup striker. Just mistakes in this market, I think, may well cost us. And I think they showed today. So, has anyone got any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts were that, even though I'm maybe ironically saying Nuno out, I really hope he does something to change his system because if we continue another month like this, I think by October I'm going to be Nuno out because the system's poor, the players are poor, and it just depends on this month for me if I like him or not, and if I can envision him having that long-term success as a Tottenham manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to judge them. I think it'd be. I know you're not Nuno yet, and I think it would be incredibly harsh for Nuno now because we've won 3 out of 4 games. Let's not forget that we beat the champions as well.
Mhm.
But they were unconvincing. I know City was a great win, but Wolves and Watford in particular were a little bit unconvincing. And this is what I said. I said this to my mate the other day when we were talking. I said, it's all well and good getting the results, and fans are happy when we get results, but the performances need to come with it as well. Under Pochettino, we batter teams 4 or 5-0, and we look, unbelievable. Whereas now we're getting 1-0 wins and not looking convincing, not creating chances. So that needs to change, and hopefully Nuno realises that he's got his best, most creative players on the bench, and when Romero and Lo Celso return and Sanchez, hopefully we'll be in a better spot squad wise. Have you got any final thoughts, Billy, before we wrap up, mate?
Also, the one thing about the creative midfielder, just quickly, Awa was available for 15 million.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Those three signings are what we're talking about, innit? Like,
Yeah,
if you
that
had
that
our today, this game's completely different.
I quickly on Deli Ali as well. The block in the second half was absolutely incredible. Can't lie, because if he doesn't block that, we go 1-0 down before we're even at 10 in when we're already down to 10 men. So he does work hard. That's the only thing I will say about Deli Ali he and Nuno liking him.
yeah, definitely. I mean, Delhi's game has changed this season a lot. He's in a deeper role. He's not as attacking as he was 3, 4, 5 years ago. And that block today showed it, Billy. Yeah, you're totally right there. You're totally right with that. What an incredible block, and that's the sort of thing we need to see. Dedication, commitment, and I think Delhi does bring that, and he does care. I'm not saying not every player cares, but Delhi definitely showed that today. So we need to take that going forward because it's not all about we want to see great football and tiki taka or whatever, but it's also about passion and commitment. That's what Tottenham's built on. So yeah, I think we'll wrap up there then because we're running a bit short of time. Sorry. So this has been another episode of the Top Zone podcast. Thank you to OJ and to Billy. You've been fantastic
Thank you,
guests.
mate.
No problem.
Cheers.
You're both welcome back on any time. We'll probably be back with a podcast either after Thursday's game against Red.
Oh, things disconnected a little bit there.
Yeah.
Wait for him. Hold on.